Hey, I'm Maddie from ATAR Wizard, and today I'm going to be going over Unit 3, Area of Study 2 of VCE Psychology, now dot point number 4. Now, this dot point states the explanatory power of the Atkinson-Shiffrin multi-store model of memory in the encoding, storage, and retrieval of stored information in sensory, short-term, and long-term memory stores. So we're going to be going over this with reference to the Complete Psychology Units 3 and 4 notes package, and I'll be looking at it in terms of that. I am currently studying psychology at university and recently completed VCE Psychology. You can also book one-on-one tutoring sessions with me via the link in the description. So I look forward to seeing you there. But without further ado, let us get started. So this Atkinson-Shiffrin multi-store model of memory interprets memories as a system of memories and storage areas which work together to manage data in the brain. Memory refers to the processing, storage, and retrieval of information which has been obtained via learning. So there are three main processes in the multi-store model of memory: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is the formation of memories into a form which the brain is able to understand. Then storage occurs, the keeping of memories in the brain over time, and retrieval occurs, which is the recovery of memories which have been previously stored. So retrieval, the memories are being brought out of stores back into your conscious memory. Storage is keeping memories in the stores in your brain over time. And encoding is the formation of memories into a form which the brain is able to understand. So then we have different kinds of memory stores. So we've got the sensory memory. So the beginning of the process of memory in the brain. Sensory memory consists of everything a person absorbs through their senses. So everything you're seeing, you're touching, you're feeling, you're hearing, and you're tasting, that is all going into your sensory memory. So for VCE Psychology, we look at the iconic memory and the echoic memory. So iconic, you can remember it like eye. So it's iconic memory and it's what you're seeing. So it's a sensory input which enters through the eyes. Whereas echoic memory is all sensory input which is auditory or to do with hearing. And you can remember this because it's got the word echo in it, which is related obviously to your hearing in terms of echoes. So when we look at these memory stores, we look at the capacity and the duration. So the capacity of the iconic memory is unlimited, whereas the duration is brief or a third of a second. This is long enough for images to overlap. So moving images like movies make sense. Rather than us just seeing one clip of something, we can have things overlapping so that makes sense. Echoic memory, so the auditory input, the capacity of that is unlimited. And the duration is 3 to 4 seconds. So it's long enough to allow people to understand speech. So you can string the words together because they're able to exist simultaneously in the echoic memory. So after this sensory memory, we move through to the short-term memory. So we get from the sensory to the short-term memory by paying attention to a stimuli. So the short-term memory has a limited storage capacity, and when information in the sensory memory has attention paid to it, it moves to the short-term memory store. Maintains information in conscious awareness, so what we're thinking about now, so that it's ready for immediate use. So the capacity of short-term memory is 5 to 9 pieces of information, and when this is full, items are pushed out of the short-term memory to make room for new ones. The duration is up to 30 seconds, but the clarity of information reduces after 12 seconds. So the duration, it's hard to say because by this 30-second mark for most people, there's it's nothing left. Whereas repetition can increase the duration. So if you have 5 things you need to remember, then you can just repeat them and you will be able to extend this duration for these pieces of information. Capacity can be increased via chunking. So chunking is able to increase the capacity for the short-term memory, and this is done by the grouping together of information. For example, when remembering a phone number, someone might group together the numbers of 7 and 4 to 74. So they fill two pieces of two pieces of so they fill one piece of information rather than two pieces of information. So this capacity, you might have seen it written as 7 plus or minus 2. So this plus or minus 2 refers to the standard deviation. So one standard deviation from the middle. So one standard deviation is 2. That's why it's written as 7 plus or minus 2, because for everyone it's slightly different. We just know that one standard deviation is going to be 2 pieces of information. So rather than 5 to 9, you might see 7 plus or minus 2 pieces of information. And then again, in terms of increasing the capacity via chunking, so that phone number example, 74, 7 and 4, 274 is an example of chunking. Additionally, if you have to remember a list of letters, you might chunk some of them together into common acronyms, which will help you remember the letters. So instead of just having a random assortment of letters which you have been tasked to remember, you might group them together into words or something else to help increase your understanding. Moving on to long-term memory. So the long-term memory is a memory store which is designed to hold information for long periods of time. So the capacity, the amount we can hold in the long-term memory, is potentially unlimited. The duration of the long-term memory is also relatively permanent. Now, we say relative because we can still forget things, and we know that people forget things. So although it can be permanent, you might not remember something that happened when you were a kid, or obviously there's things that you're not going to remember because your body doesn't prioritize those memories. So the duration is therefore relatively permanent. Now, there are different kinds of memories which are held in this store. These are the explicit or implicit memories. So that brings us to the end of this video. Again, you can purchase these notes via the link in the description, and you can grab a tutoring session with me also via the link in the description. So I look forward to seeing you there. Next episode, we're going to go on about the different parts of the brain and their roles in memory, which is super, super interesting. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much. Bye.